Hey, all right, so what we're doing today, I'm probably talking too loud, is we have these little Greek gods and goddesses, and these Kevin did for us on the Form 2. It's an SLA printer. You've seen him before in the Golden Idol. I want to point this out because you can see on the B-roll, this is low quality setting. You're limited basically only by the resolution of the model itself, polygon count, how smooth it is. These things require no finishing. This is, so getting something like that off a 3D printer is phenomenal. There is a scaffolding structure that you can see on B-roll, and that literally snaps off the back. You don't even have to cut it. You can just peel it off the back. And then some 400 grit sandpaper. Those little nublets where it touches are so fine. It just takes a tiny little bit of sandpaper on there, some very fine sandpaper to get rid of that texture, and it is ready to go. There are some undercuts and other things that we'll have to address with these, so we'll take care of that. And Athena right here has a very detailed headpiece, and so that will definitely have to be brush captured before a final mold pour. I think we're gonna do these as a cutaway single piece mold. So that'll be interesting. We haven't done that before, and so here's a different mold technique yet again.
Hi guys, this is Anna once again. Hello. We are going to be continuing work on some of our molding and casting that we started the other day. Here are our little statues that are going to be going on top of our cabinet to solve the very first of the puzzles. And what we did to start these off before we actually mold them is we have coated them in a layer of silicone. The silicone, these statues actually are pretty detailed, and if we had just stuck them into a mold or into a cube and tried to mold them from there, it would have been very difficult to not get air bubbles. So what we want to do is we want to brush on a couple of layers of silicone to begin with, and then build a little box around them so we can pour the rest of it. And this is what I'm gonna show you the first part today. So I have two very small portions of silicone and all of my statues here in front of me. We're going to start with Apollo here. And I'm going to just take part A and put it into part B. I'm going to stir them together really well until all the colors are uniform, or until the blue is uniform, I guess. This silicone has a pretty short pot life before it starts to firm up, so you want to work pretty quick. You want to scrape down the sides, run your stick across the bottom, and make sure everything is one even shade of blue. Since we have 5 of these statues here, and the silicone is going to firm up long before I get through all of them on my own, I've got Mark with me, and he is going to help out to brush down a few of these. Grab my brush. These are just regular little chip brushes, and grab a little bit of the silicone. And for this second application, all I'm doing is putting it in the places that are kind of the hardest to get to. So in the eye sockets and where all of these little curls are, top of the hair, especially the face is the most important part. So we want to make sure that comes out looking really pretty. So with the second application, you can see all the major features kind of start to disappear. And that's good. That's exactly what we want. We want a nice smooth surface to actually pour the silicone on when we make a little box around it and then make our mold.
So we just poured a giant chunk of silicone on top of this thing. The problem with that is the features of this thing won't allow it to be released. That is a really simple way to do this, where you're really just trying to get a couple of copies out of it. And it works well for this. Instead of doing a 2-part mold and trying to find the dam line on that and all that kind of stuff, we poured one box, and then I cut a zigzag, kind of sawing through the silicone like so, to the point where I could pull it open and get it released. And the way that I cut that line enables it to seal back up again. I'll show you here. And you can see here that the way the two mold halves mesh together, it basically makes it goes back to being basically waterproof, certainly tight enough that the silicone or the resin doesn't leak through. So easy way to make a semi two-part mold. We call it a cut mold. Somebody else may call it something else, but there you go. Hey, so we're gonna do something now. We're gonna, coffee, I like. We're gonna do a marble mix. We're gonna use 300Q. You could use 300 for that. It's a white resin, and then it's a fast setting white resin. And then we're gonna mix a small batch of black and barely mix the two together and pour them in mold, and it'll look like marble, and that's badass.
All right, guys, so we have our resins here. This will turn pure white when it's mixed together, and this one over here is going to be a dark gray. That's going to make our marble effect, and the ratio of pure white to dark gray is about 5 to 1. So what we're gonna do is at the same time here, we're going to dump one part into the other.
Just switch that over when you can.
And then we're going to pour it in this mold right here.
Move this right here. Okay, just adding a tiny bit, and then boom, that.
Now we're only going to fill the mold up part of the way so that we can kind of shake it around. Get rid of any air bubbles in there.
Okay.
We're going to fill it up the rest.
That'll work.
Now if you watch it right here, you'll start noticing that it's going to change to a grayish color rather than this very dark. Oh, there it goes.
Let's demold Zeus.
Yeah. In the meantime, while this sets up, we're going to take Zeus out of.
I'm making it weird. I'm making it weird.
It's like giving birth. Lino was right.
How's he look?
He looks great.
Yeah. So if you zoom in like this, you can see that he's got this black marbling in through here, and there's the back of his neck. See if you can see that a little bit. So anyway, it's just a really light marble effect, and it looks badass, and it's easy. So do that. Well, hopefully that technique helps you out, and it's an easy one. So there it is, fast and easy. That's always good. We've got some cool stuff coming out, and this might be a bit of a hint. Might be. We've got the bloodstone blocks coming, and we've got this guy coming, and we'll show you that stuff. And if you're a subscriber, or if you're not, whatever, subscribe if you're not. But if you're a subscriber, push the notification bell if you haven't done it already. The other thing is that you will have to check your subscriptions to be sure that you see videos, because you won't necessarily be notified. It's a new YouTube thing, and isn't that great? Anyway, we've got that and a bunch of other stuff coming. So we'll see you soon, and hopefully we're going to increase the frequency of videos, because we're increasing the frequency of stuff, and clients let us, and that's always cool. So we'll see you soon.